Unlike the Gram that only had 3 parts, this has 4. There is the stock from the Lith B5 relic, the receiver from the Lith O1 relic, the blueprint from the Meso R1 relic, and the barrel from the Neo H2 relic, which makes it a lot harder to get a hold of than the Gram itself was. And I mean, let's be honest, the Rubico, I liked this from the looks because that scope was huge, but it was never the nicest looking of the sniper rifles. I think the Snipertron still kind of holds that because it's just, as really bad as this is to say, it's plain. That was just kind of big and bulky. This fixed that problem. The scope isn't as big, it's not outrageous, but the rest of it is. But that's just how prime weapons work. And you can instantly see the difference between the two. The mastery ranking for this is up there. And after the amount of people that complained, because in my Gram video I said it was either a 12 or a 14, it's a 14. It's the Rubico that was actually the 12. But it is a huge leap from the 6 the normal Rubico has to be that high a level. For what is a very low amount of change at 8% extra crit, isn't really that much. The damage is so minimal, it's not even noteworthy. I mean, there's an extra 5.6 for impact, 0.3 for slash, 1.1 for puncture. It's tiny. It reloads quicker, it has more status, it has a higher fire rate, but that seems to be it. At least at first glance anyway. And more so when you look at it when you first get it and realise, oh, it only has 2 Vs on it? Obviously when it comes to build it, you are going to need at least possibly 2 Vs. Personally, I added a dash to this because I just happened to have a Riven for this, which was in itself pretty much the saving point of this weapon. Another V would have been useful, but if you do go the normal route, things like Orgon Scope, Point Strike, Vital Sense, Serration, I didn't actually put Split Chamber on mine, but I would highly recommend it. One of the main reasons my build has probably kind of flashed on the screen and disappeared by this point. And then adding my favourite mods, the dual status mods, so you've got an elemental and then a status chance on top, so it's 60% elemental, 60% status chance in whichever combination you particularly happen to need for the enemy you're going up against. Because with the status chance on this, those will actually give it a 56.1% status chance, but throwing Vital Sense and Point Strike on this will take it to a 6.6 times crit multiplier with a 95% crit chance. But with that Riven in there, it's 135 point something percent crit chance this actually had while I was using it. Kind of thankful I happened to have that Riven. It wasn't planned, it just happened to be there, and that's what saved it. I was really hoping this thing was going to red crit pretty much constantly, but they did change that a while ago, so sadly I need more crit percentage to be able to do that. But throwing something like Orgon Scope on here would help a lot. The biggest downside to this isn't the small 5 magazine, I think it's a 2.0 reload speed, which is actually quicker than the normal one is. The scope is slightly easier to use than the standard Rubico was, because I think it's 3 for its normal, 6 for its long distance. This was 2.5 and 5, so I just found myself sticking it into 5 and leaving it there constantly. And it was noticeably more difficult to use on smaller maps, but for range, yeah, I do love my sniper weapons in the game. Same as bows. I try not to use them because I will be the first to admit it, because somebody's probably gone down to the comments by this point and actually said it. Yeah, my aim is really off because I haven't used sniper rifles in, the more I think about it, in-game in quite a while, because I did nothing but use sniper rifles and shotguns for a long time. I was either extreme long range or extreme short range, which is one of the reasons that I started using the Bratton Prime constantly in this game, because I was either running a sniper rifle, a bow, or the heck. So it's either long range, extreme long range, or short range. There, the auto rifles just fell into the middle, so it still kind of suffers that these things, if you're running support for everybody else, this is definitely one of the weapons to take. But it uses sniper rifle ammo, which is one of the rarest in the games, which can be really problematic because it only has I think it's 75 or 77 total ammo capacity, and you will find yourself running out quite a lot. And I actually deleted footage because I actually completely goofed. I was probably one of the best games of my life. It was headshot after headshot after headshot, and I was just thinking, yes, finally, I'm going to get some really good footage, and went to finish the recording and started the recording. So the recording I actually had from that entire game was me running out of ammo and having to run around with my secondary trying to find ammo. Kind of wish I'd kept that as a great example of running out of ammo. The only other real downside to this, it's a lot of fun if you're going to use it in day-to-day missions. Just don't run it in the 5x zoom, leave it in the 2.5, and it'll basically save your life. Of course, when running a big sniper rifle like this, you want a really good secondary that will allow you to swap to it for shorter range combat, shall we say. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room with this. This is the 3rd or 4th lowest damage sniper rifle. The fire rate, the crit chance really did make up for this. It has the highest crit chance, coming in at 38. It's 16% status. It is usable at that, but really you want to concentrate this more on the crit side. But with the Vectis Prime being a thing, yes, it's only got 30% crit chance, but it does 157.5 puncture, whereas the Rubico Prime does 28.1, and there's only a 9.6 difference in the impact. The Vectis Prime can be modded with the depleting reload and charge chamber setup, so it has one round that does an extra 40% damage, which makes it even better again. That setup would be a complete waste. It's got a magazine of 5, concentrate on the trying to keep it at 5 or more would be nice, but losing the damage for that really wasn't worth it. So the Vectis Prime, yeah, it is still going to kind of remain the king of the sniper rifles. This wasn't even a threat to it, but running day-to-day missions, leaving this in the 2.5x zoom, it is actually still an amazing little weapon, and it is very useful. Running it in the 5x zoom with you, probably better off being in a squad, otherwise you're going to have a pretty bad day with it, because people are going to sneak up on you while you're zooming, and that's why I said run a decent secondary. Anyway, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch yous next time.